Okay, hello. Welcome to part 2 of the Weekend Ween the Monster Mash readathon. So I don't know if in my first part, if I said anything about like what it was, but just in case, here I am saying it again. Gabby Reads is the channel that I follow, and she's the one that does this readathon stuff, this anything to do with spooky thriller kind of stuff. So this one is, she calls it Weekend Ween, the Monster Mash readathon. So I'm playing a part of that, and this is book 2. I started reading House of Hunger today, and I assumed or thought it was a vampire because it's to do with drinking blood, and I'm pretty sure I'm only 6 chapters in. Like I said, I don't own it. I'm listening to it, so I don't know how far that means in the aspect of the book. I'm starting to realize, or think I'm realizing, that this has got nothing to do with vampires. So it is to do with people drinking blood and all that, but I don't think it has anything to do with vampires. So there's that. It is about a girl. Her name is Marion, who lives in like the slums, is what she calls it. So she is very, very, very poor, and she is a house. When we first start the story, she is a housemaid, and she is very unhappy with her life. She lives with her very, very abusive, very sick brother, and she wants out. And she's sitting there with her friend during, I guess you could call it a lunch break, and she can't afford food, so she's like smoking a cigarette in hopes to, get rid of the hunger. They're sitting there chit-chatting, and this is to do with like way back in the day, long time ago. She finds a calling in a newspaper saying that they need a blood maid needed. And so she's like very, very interested. Apparently, a blood maid means, though, that a lot of you have there's no gray area in this scenario. Either you're a person who finds this to be very exotic, very like almost like a movie star scenario in your head, like you think it's the answer to all your problems. And then there's the exact opposite of people who believe that it's like pretty much selling your body, and that it's very frowned upon and looked down upon, and no one really wants anything to do with it, or and feels like if someone were to do that they aren't worth your time. So I'm at the part where she has decided she went to visit the man who put out the calling, and he's apparently looking for someone else. And so he's just there to he pretty much is like a finder person. So he gets like finder's fee for finding blood maids. He has offered her to go with him to meet her person that actually needs the blood maid, right? She has accepted it, and she gets on the train with him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this book. I'm really, really liking the story. I made a connection, I guess, or liking very quickly with Marion, the main character. I like her a lot. I like her spunk, and I like her attitude, and I want to see her journey. I really do. But when she goes to talk to this guy about his news article, she immediately is asked to give him some of her blood, and so he can try it out, see what kind of blood it tastes like. You would think that I would know that this is going to be a thing, a reoccurring thing that happens in this book because, I mean, it's right there on the freaking description. And she walks up to him, he pulls out a needle. Like, he has like this like fancy case that has all kinds of different needles. He's very serious about this. And I immediately start skipping because I hate needles. Like, I hate them. And it's not like needles, like I don't know if you've ever, I've got long sleeves on, but I have tattoos. It's not like I can't handle them or anything like that. It's more the fact of needles and blood combined. Like, I don't know what it is about tattoos. They don't bother me whatsoever. But, the blood, someone getting pricked and blood coming out of them and then poured into a cup to be drank just sickens me. And that's the scene pretty much. Like I said, I skipped through the part where she actually gets pricked and blood comes out. I skipped just like 30 seconds and he's drinking her blood out of a teacup. And I was just like, okay, I'm good for it. But then, like, my head is, like, you know, doing exactly the opposite of what I want it to do and starts thinking about the scenario. And it sickens me. I'm too weak for that. Like, when I was pregnant with Avery, they do, you know, blood tests and all that stuff. I always had to lay down. Like, I wasn't one of those, like, fidgeters or, like, freaker outers or anything like that. But I did always have to lay down, because I felt faint at the idea that a needle was inside of me and blood was coming out of me. Like, that scenario, that situation of a needle going inside you and blood coming out of you, that, oh, so I don't like it. And this is going to happen more than once. I mean, obviously, she's going to become this blood maid, and I'm going to have to, like, I had to pause the story and, like, sit there for a minute and tell my brain to shut up. So that way I can continue with the story. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I can keep going through it. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the actual story. And I really like the main character thus far. So I'm hoping that this becomes a book that I'm able to get through. I mean, it took me quite a while to be like, okay, longer than it definitely should have, to be like, okay, I can continue listening now and not feel sick to my stomach. So, and I skipped through most of it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm back. I just finished the book House of Hunger. I didn't do a bunch of check-ins for this book because I don't know how long the book is. I auto booked this entire book. I don't own it, so I don't know how long it is. But what I do know is it didn't take me very long to listen to it. So I didn't take the time to stop and report back to you guys on my feelings about it. But that might also be because there's not much that happens to report on, my feelings on, because the entire time my feeling was about the same about the book. Where I left off was telling you that these weren't about vampires like I thought they were. That it's about a woman who is very, 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 very rich, and she drinks blood. So, I mean, it could be considered a vampire. Like, a different kind of vampire. Like, she's not dead. It's just that she is very, very sick, probably because she drinks a lot of blood, but maybe that's not the case. And so she believes that by drinking young women's blood, that young, healthy women's blood, that will keep her living longer and keep her youth. They come to her, these finders people come to her with these women and here's this woman, she tests their blood, drinks their blood as a tester, almost like wine. And then she decides if she keeps them. If she keeps them, then the deal that they sign off on when they are decided on that they are worthy enough, the deal is that they're supposed to be in her care for 5 or 6 years, depending on the age that they come to her at, because she doesn't want them past, I think it was the age of 30, but depending, I think it's 26, because the main girl, Marion, she is 20 and she's signing off for a 6-year service. She's taken care of during that 6 years, right? Whatever her heart desires pretty much is given to her. She never goes hungry. She obviously has a roof over her head, and everything's very luxurious. When she retires, then she's pretty much said she gets a huge amount of money for back then, and she can do whatever she wants with that money. And her plan is to buy to buy a house and to live her rest of her life out as well as she possibly can. That's the plan. Obviously, plans don't go very well. This is definitely I would call this a monster type of book. Obviously, the Countess is not what she seems, and this luxury way of living is not as beautiful as Marianne thinks it's going to be. Just like anything else. If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So just back away and, try not to get killed. That's all I'm going to say. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty new book, and so I'm not going to go into depth about everything that happens in the book the way I did with Jurassic Park. Yeah, there's only one more day to this readathon. I'm not going to be able to finish another book before then, so these 2 books were the 2 books that I'm going to count as my marathon. I did all the prompts and with the first book, so the second book's just the cherry on top, right? I did enjoy this book. I don't remember if I ever said this, but Jurassic Park I definitely gave a 5-star to, and I'm going to go ahead and give this book a 4-star, almost a 3, but I'll give it a 4. I really enjoyed the main character, Marianne. She was someone who is very sassy, very stubborn. She's for example, without giving anything away, she's given all these rules when she first gets there.
Here's what I found.
So for an example, without giving anything away, she is given a bunch of rules that she is supposed to abide by while she's at this house. And she starts immediately breaking them because they don't suit her. That's no fun. Why am I doing that? Or, she just, her personality type and the way that her thought process, the way she speaks to other people, she doesn't act like she's better than anybody else. But at the same time, she's not going to be stomped on by anyone else either just because they have more money than she does. That's not her game. She understands the world is not fair, but she sure as hell is not going to bow down to it. And so I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed the fact that the book was based off of her. I liked the Countess. I can't remember her name at this point, but I liked her ability to manipulate people. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through this book, because anytime there was any bloodletting or anytime that they wanted to drink directly from the vein, those parts were all through the book, and there were times that I kind of skipped a little bit. 30-second there, 30-second there. Talking about the blood and drinking the blood didn't bother me. It was the opening up of the veins and the blood coming out of the veins talk. It was just like, ugh. It all happened within this manor or this house that this Countess is a part of. It is very much a story of, if something sounds too good to be true, then it's too good to be true, and walk away. Which is exactly what she should have done. She did it. I actually did enjoy the writing style from this book than I did. This is the same author, Alexis Henderson. She did The Year of the Witching. I definitely enjoyed this story much more than The Year of Witching, and I am a big witch fan, and when it comes to books. For whatever reason, this one was just a little bit better, even with all the eek factors. She was able to get to the point more, and it just felt like she was dragging The Year of the Witching just a little bit too much than it needed to be. And this time it was almost like, and that was a debut novel, so it's not surprising that it's gotten better. Her writing style has gotten better. But I really did enjoy this story much more I also enjoyed the main character much more, so that might have something to do with it as well. Those are all my thoughts on it. I feel like I did a great job at this readathon, and I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I love October, and Halloween is my favorite time of the year. Like, that is my favorite holiday, for sure, 100%. I like Halloween. So to do a readathon that is Halloween-based Monster Mash, that's fun stuff. I enjoyed it. Another readathon, success. Yay! Well, anyway, my name's Kendra. This is Readathon. If you like me, subscribe to me. If you like me doing readathons, like this video. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.